If you were to ask a random member of the public to name you 5 cars, there's a good chance that this car right here, the VW Golf, would feature on their list. And that is with good reason. It's a very popular car, not just here in the UK, but across the whole of Europe. Why is that? Well, it's because there's a Golf for everyone. If you want frugal motoring, there's the low-powered diesel. If you want practicality, there's the Golf Estate. And if you want blow your socks off performance, there's the Golf R. But whichever Golf you choose, you can rest assured that actually it's a very sensible used car purchase. In this video, we will explore everything you need to know about the Mark 7 Golf and find out just what makes it such a good purchase. Following its launch in the 1970s, the Volkswagen Golf went on to establish itself as the leader of the family hatchback pack. This Mark 7 Golf, launched in 2013, is no different, which is no mean feat given the breadth of options available within the segment. There are cheaper cars like the Vauxhall Astra, more stylish cars like the Peugeot 308, more desirable cars such as the BMW 1 Series, and there are even cars based upon the same platform that offer more space like the Skoda Octavia. But none of those cars are as well-rounded as the Mark 7 Golf. It's classy and understated, with every version benefiting from the Golf's trademark levels of quality and comfort. Compared to the previous generation, the Mark 7 offers improvements in every area. It's longer, it's wider, so there's more space for passengers and a bigger boot, yet it's also up to 100 kilos lighter and more fuel efficient than older cars. It's also safer too. As with any Golf, there are body types and drivetrains to suit all wants and needs, all of which offer excellent ride comfort and a host of driver aids and safety equipment to boot. If you're opting for a Golf, then one thing you're going to pretty much guarantee is you're getting solid build quality. It's what the model is renowned for. So everything you touch feels nice and solid and well put together. There's lots of soft touch materials around the cabin, and anything that you're going to kind of interact with just feels like it's built to last, to be honest with you. And no, the interior is not as premium as an Audi A3, but it's not as expensive as an Audi A3. And I think you'll find that this car more than stands up to any of its rivals in terms of outright quality. And depending on what level of trim you go for, you'll find that it can be really well spec'd as well. Personally, I wouldn't opt for the lowest spec style trim. You get air conditioning, electric windows, and that's about it. You don't even get alloy wheels. I'd be looking at a spec similar to this car that we've got today, so Match, SE or SE Nav, because that really does give you everything you're going to need. We've got adaptive cruise control, we've got heated seats, we've got a nice clear touchscreen that's very responsive and easy to use, and yeah, just a very solid, well put together place to be. There's not much flair going on, it's just all very well thought out and very sensible. Now, I have had to move the driver's seat from my position because I wouldn't be able to fit in the back here if I left it where I was sat. I'm relatively tall, I'm just over 6'1", so if space in the back is a real priority for you and you're quite tall, the Golf might not be the one to go for. You might be better off looking at something like a Skoda Octavia, which is basically the same platform underneath, just with a bigger body and more space. In terms of me sitting behind what is a normal driving position, I'm actually fairly comfortable. The seats are not too upright. They're a nice, comfortable place to be, and I've actually got surprisingly decent headroom. Other than that, things are quite Spartan. Back here, there's no USB connectivity, there's no climate controls, for example, but it's much like the front, very kind of solid, well put together, and not much else to shout about. There are a couple of Isofix points on either side here, and they've got the handy clips to cover them over, but if you're like me, you're probably going to lose this once you take them out. Bit of a transmission tunnel, so it might not be the most comfortable for somebody sat in the middle seat. But if you've got a couple of kids in the back here and they're in child seats, there's going to be more than enough room for that, and the doors open really nice and wide to make putting the seats in and out quite easy. In terms of boot space with the Golf, you're getting very similar proportions and size to the rest of the class. So you get 380 litres of space, which is exactly the same as a Vauxhall Astra. It's a nice square opening, not much of a load lip, so it's not too difficult to get items in and out. You've got some tether points, some hooks for shopping bags there, and even a 12-volt point as well. The seats fold 60-40,
so you can put the seats down and have a couple of passengers, and you've also got a ski hatch in the middle there as well. If you want an even bigger boot, you can get the Volkswagen Golf Estate, which has 605 litres of space, and if you want a bigger boot and a slightly higher car, you can go so far as getting the VW All-Track, which offers four-wheel drive and protective bumpers and a big boot. Whichever Golf you go for, you should find it to be pretty good to drive, because all but the lowest spec Golfs come with some rather kind of sophisticated independent rear suspension, which I will not try to explain. I will just tell you that the car has it, and what it means is that the car handles really quite nicely compared to other hatches in this segment. It's fun to drive and feels very planted, is probably the best way to put it. It's very flat, very planted, very reassuring, no matter what situation you are in. So right now we're going around the roundabout, and yeah, the car's just flat, it's not wallowing around. Turns in nicely, and then we turn out on the accelerator a little bit, and yeah, handles it all perfectly. Now, if the Golf is wallowy, that's a bit of a telltale sign that there could be some issues. It should handle nicely, and if it doesn't, you might want to investigate that a bit further or just walk away. Another thing that helps the Golf in terms of handling is the XDS. Now, XDS is something that used to only be available on the Golf GTI, but is now available on all Golfs. And basically what the system does is, if it detects that one of the front wheels is slipping, it will take power away from that wheel, and then at speed what it will do is send power to the outside wheel when cornering. So when you're going around a corner, the outside wheel gets more power, and it just gives you more stability as you go around the corner. You also get variable ratio steering in the Golf, and what that means is it changes the steering feel based upon the circumstances. So when you're at speed, the steering firms up a bit. When you're at low speed, the steering's very, very light, so that helps you with parking and manoeuvring. Once you get up to speed, the Golf is a very comfortable, quiet and capable cruiser, and it really can handle any journey you're going to throw at it. It can drive around town, it can go down the country lanes, it can munch miles if that is what you are into. And as we said, there's a Golf for everybody, so there are engines to match those tasks as well. So there's a range of petrol engines starting from as low as 1 litre all the way up to 2 litre, and any one of them offers a good blend of performance and economy, so it's worth just kind of picking through those different variants just to see which one's probably going to work best for you all round. But anyone, for most people, is going to be up to the job. If you want outright economy, then go for basically the car we've got today, which is the 1.6 TDI. That is going to offer you really good economy, and it's kind of well set up for motorway mileage if that's what you're doing. If you do lots of long journeys and you're really going to rack up some miles, then I really would recommend still going with either this, the 1.6 TDI, or the 2 litre TDI. Another option, if you are searching just for outright economy, is the Golf GTE. That is a plug-in hybrid, so if you're able to plug in at home, you can utilise that battery power just to really eke out as much MPG as possible. Another good version for economy and performance is the GTD. So it's not quite a GTI. Anything with a GT is kind of branded as slightly more sporty, shall we say, and the GTD and the GTE, neither of those match up to the GTI, but the GTD is a kind of sportier diesel, so it'll get you from 0 to 62 mile an hour in about 7.5 seconds. There is also a fully electric Golf, that's the e-Golf. If that's more your thing, personally I would probably err towards more of a bespoke electric platform than an electrified Golf, but it is still a good car. Now, if outright performance is what you're after, then look no further than the Golf GTI. There are a few different versions of the GTI to consider, but whatever version you choose, you're getting, well, it's the hot hatch to end all hot hatches, isn't it? It's the Golf GTI is famous for a reason. It's just a really, really good all-round package. It will get you from 0 to 62 mile an hour in 6.5 seconds. And if for some reason that Golf GTI is somehow not enough for you, then there is of course the Golf R. Now the Golf R is pushing out nearly 300 horsepower, 4-wheel drive, 0 to 62 in less than 5 seconds. So in my opinion, you really don't need much more performance than that. So if you want Golf and you want the absolute best in performance, the Golf R is the one to get. But bear in mind running costs and insurance. The Golf R can be expensive to insure. Now the Golf is a safe car, as you'd expect, for arguably the world's most popular family hatchback. So it's got a 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating. There's 7 airbags as standard and a host of safety equipment optional and included. So in the car that we're driving today, for example, we've got adaptive cruise control, we've got lane keep. On the subject of adaptive cruise control, it's always worth checking that the adaptive cruise control works. If it doesn't, it could be something as innocuous as a problem with the sensor, but it could also indicate potentially that the vehicle has been involved in a front end collision at some point. For generations, the VW Golf has represented solid and dependable motoring for just about any purpose you can think of. And this Mark 7 is arguably the best generation of the lot. It's just worth bearing in mind that there are quite a lot of engine, body shape and trim levels to choose from. So if you're after a Golf, it's best to do your research and really narrow down what in particular it is that you want from the car, because chances are you'll find what you're looking for. There are lots of these on the used market due to their popularity. If you've watched this video and you've decided actually the Golf isn't for you, other cars to consider would be a Ford Focus or Vauxhall Astra. If you wanted something that offered even more space and practicality, then you could look at the Skoda Octavia. And if you wanted something that was just that little bit more luxurious, then consider the Audi A3. Thanks for watching this need to know video on the VW Golf. If you'd enjoyed the video, please give us a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can be notified every time we upload a video.